What is up? Welcome in to yet another edition of the Ben Garcia Show. So stoked to be here on this beautiful Wednesday. It does feel like the week is dragging on a little more than I hope it would, but it is doing so. And we got some things to talk about. NFL draft and a little bit more of an open-ended Suns segment. I'll see you guys in a couple of seconds.
The Ben Garcia Show. Yeah. Best show in the land. Yup. Listen. Come and get your information from Ben Garcia. Get the latest on your quarterback, running backs, and receivers. Tune in, so any other show you don't need them. Any news that he giving out, please just believe him. Giving out the latest prediction and top-notch analysis. Wanna hear the truth, better have thick skin like calluses. The latest move that your team just made can be damaging. The dudes ain't speaking no facts, they just be rambling. Lights, camera, action, turn on the show, go get the cameraman. Yeah. Lights, camera, action, turn on the show, go get the cameraman. The Ben Garcia Show.
I don't know why. I don't know why Aaron's comment made me laugh, but it's so stupid that I thought it was funny. So, Aaron, I do appreciate being called Ben Durant. That is so out the window at this point. He has started to go after other media members. I am old news now. We got a Suns game tonight too, but either way, we will get to the Suns in a little bit, guys. It's an interesting topic that I do want to talk about on today's show when it comes to the Phoenix Suns. I'm not even so sure what I would call it right now. I am legitimately going to wing that segment, and I have never winged a segment since I've started this show. I've had things planned. I know what I'm doing, but I have a thing to kind of talk about with the Suns that is fairly frustrating, where I would be curious to see what you guys think as well. But either way, let's start here with all things Arizona Cardinals. Do me a favor. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. It takes like 5 seconds to like the stream. Just go down there, like the stream. We got 6 people in here. Just go ahead, like it. Someone's lying. Someone's not doing their job. Like, share, subscribe, comment why you love me. But I'd prefer you comment why you hate me. I don't know what it is. That kind of stuff I just find funnier. I don't really, like I always tell people, my mom will tell me what she likes about me. My wife will tell me what she likes about me. I kind of don't want to know why people don't like me. I think it's kind of funny. Either way, there's a lot of different things going on in the NFL draft. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, follow me on all social media platforms at what? Ben Garcia Show. Michael, Aaron, Brian, Ivan. We have all of the OGs in the chat today. So that's pretty cool, guys. Good to see you guys. And also, thank you for supporting the show. Brian, I don't have purple hair. Thank you so much for supporting the show. You know, I was just thinking about this last night, guys. I'll get into the work in just a second, but let me be thankful for just a second. I know that oftentimes, like at most at a time, on average, there's like 12 people watching the show live. There's some people that watch it later, which I appreciate that as well. There's no difference in people watching it. Views are views. I am very thankful you guys come on here and listen to my takes. I will always respond to you, especially if you tag me. I will find you and I will respond to you. If you DM me, I will happily talk with you as well. And again, if you ever see me, maybe you're watching Locked On Phoenix Suns, you see me out in the public, you see Brendan out in the public, stop us. We would love to talk. Shake your hand, say hello. I will go out of my way to talk and meet up with people, meet people, and see who they are, what makes them tick, because I appreciate you guys. Anyways, let's talk about the NFL draft. So the Cardinals are on the clock, pick 16, and there's a lot of different options that they could go. And I wasn't even going to do an NFL draft topic until I saw this. 2 different things. Daniel Jeremiah came out with his latest mock draft yesterday. He dropped this after the show, so that's always fun to do, but at 9 a.m. yesterday. And he had put, that's what happens when we go live. Sometimes you just got to sneeze. But he put out his mock draft in the Arizona Cardinals are picking Gray Zebel, offensive lineman, North Dakota State. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm not super familiar with a guard interior lineman from North Dakota State. I'm just not. But what I will say is that just picking off of best player available? Brian, thank you in the chat. Ivan as well. When you see this mock draft, and it says Daniel Jeremiah has the Cardinals selecting a guard out of North Dakota State, Gray Zebel. You have a multiple of different avenues you could go if you're the Arizona Cardinals. But what I think is interesting is this. Whether it's James Pierce or Gray Zebel, or I think Teteroa McMillan, if he falls to the Cardinals, you have to actually think about it. I understand you don't need a wide receiver, but here's the argument. For going after a different player that maybe you as a Cardinals fan aren't going to be comfortable with because it doesn't fix the exact need of the Cardinals. I believe in the NFL draft, mistakes are made, general managers are fired because you don't take best player available. Now, oftentimes, the best player available for the pick for your team would be so egregious that you just can't do it. Like a quarterback in the first round. Let's say everyone believes that Kyler Murray, let's just say that the best player available is a quarterback. But you have Kyler Murray on your team. You're not taking the quarterback. But if Teteroa McMillan falls and you have a top 5 grade on him, then yeah, I don't think it's crazy to take Teteroa McMillan. However, if it's close, the need you have and the best player available, and they're neck and neck, you do just got to go need. But what I won't do is demand the Cardinals select a position in the draft if they are clearly overreaching. If they are clearly drafting some guy that should not be drafted at their pick. So what I want the Cardinals to do is obviously do the due diligence. That's just brain dead information I could give you every single day. But what I want for them to do is to select a player in this draft who is going to make them better. I will always firmly be best player available over need every single day that ends in Y and twice on Sundays. I believe general managers that don't live by that motto end up getting fired. You end up doing the Steve Keim route where you're picking linebackers from colleges you didn't even know existed because you needed a linebacker. If you are the Cardinals, you got to go ahead and take the best player available. You are not good enough to just be overreaching for guys and helping elevate your team. If there is an A++ talent there, Teteroa McMillan, I understand he keeps coming up here. He fell to 22 in this draft. And fine, if you think that your guy's going to be there, let's say that Zebel from North Dakota State, who Daniel Jeremiah has mocked to the Arizona Cardinals at 16, let's say the Arizona Cardinals feel like that is their guy, but he'll be available absolutely at pick 22. Then trade back. What I don't want the Cardinals to do in the draft is to pick someone based solely off of need who is a clear reach in the draft because it makes them feel better, because it makes everyone think that this team is going to be better. And you know, I like what Brian, I think it was Brian, I'm sorry. I like what Aaron, sorry Brian, I like what you have to say too in the chat, but I like what Aaron has to say. Interior pressure disrupts Murray more than exterior. 100%. I am absolutely with you. 1,050%. The one biggest issue that is made for Kyler Murray drafting an interior offensive lineman is that the interior pressure absolutely gets to him. But I've got to be fair, man. The offensive line did a pretty good job at protecting Kyler Murray last year, and he was horrendous in the second half of the season. He just wasn't good enough. And I know that comes off as a Kyler Murray hater. My job is better and easier if Kyler Murray is good. I'm rooting for him. I want it to happen. Brian as well. Gray will be a day one starter. Good, exactly. He's solid, just not positional value. That's my point right there. If he's someone that you believe you can get later on, then trade your pick. Trade back. What I believe in this draft is it does lack top-end talent. I believe whoever the Cardinals want to get, of course with some exceptions, will be there at 16 and potentially will be there at 20. So if that's the case, hold an auction. Don't just draft a guy to draft a guy. That's not what I want to do. That is not where I want to see the Arizona Cardinals go. That right there is where I believe mistakes are made. So whether your team defensive line or team offensive line, I will forever be team draft the best player available. I'm not beholden to a position because when you do that, you handcuff yourself. And you let elite level players walk out the door. The Cowboys have been picking best player available for years. And what does it get them? CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons. You can argue they didn't need either one of those guys, but they fell to them in the drafts. What did the Eagles do? We'll just take Jalen Carter. Everyone else was worried about his mental side of the game. Is he going to be able to be an adult at the next level? So that's where I'm at. I don't care what the Cardinals do, but it better be based off of best player available. I don't want to do the thing where we pray that the Cardinals figure it out. And, this is another fight kind of going on in the chat right now, which I love. I love when spirited debates. I know that this is so stupid, and I'm willing to take the L on this argument. So, not going to put up much of a fight. I also just want a guy that I've seen before. I don't want to take any risks. I like Monty Ossenfort as a drafter and a talent evaluator, and if he picks what he thinks is best, I'm going to ride with it. But I got to be honest, I know North Dakota State isn't a small school. Obviously, they're the dynasty. They're the Alabama of Division II football. But I would just like to see a guy from Ohio State, Michigan, Florida State, Florida, Alabama. I would like to see one of those guys fall to the Cardinals. And that's, again, where I fall on talent. You can always figure out talent. You can't always figure out a player that fits your position, but you need him to be more talented. And I think that's where guys like Monty Ossenfort make mistakes. Or guys like Steve Keim make mistakes. You can't do that. You cannot be so beholden on the positional value that you need. You got to be able to get the best player available. And if that means you like a guy like Gray Zevel from North Dakota State University, that's fine. Trade back. If I'm not mistaken, and I should have had this written down, the Cardinals have 6 picks in this upcoming draft. That's not a lot of swings at the bat. And what I like are swings at the bat. Find a way to trade back, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Cardinals did. Also, if you're not going to have a lot of swings at the bat, swing for a home run. And if one of those blue chip players fall to you, and I'm going to mention his name again, Teteroa McMillan, strongly consider taking those guys. We don't need a wide receiver. Well, that's not true. I'm not so sure the Arizona Cardinals have a wide receiver too. But I'd rather have the best wide receiver in the draft than an iffy offensive lineman that we think he's going to be good, but we just really need him at that position, and so we're hamstrung and we're going to do that. That's not how I operate. Always, players' skill and talent over positional need. All right. I love the spirited debates in the chat. I've got you guys just going after each other this morning. What I will say is, sorry guys, I had to change the background over here. What I will say is this, and this is, and I don't see anything wrong with this going on in the chat. Sports is sports, and this is going to help take me up to my next topic for today. The vibes around the Phoenix Suns. Sports are just that. It's sports, guys. We're not debating healthcare, nor do I want to. We're not debating taxes, nor do I want to. We're not debating things that actually matter in life. Sports is fun. It's why I got into it. It's a connector to people. And oftentimes people say, oh, I hate people. Not me. I actually like people. I think people have a fun story to tell. What I think is damaging is when people have opinions on things that maybe you don't agree with. The first argument is, oh, you don't know basketball. Not only is that a horrendous arguing tactic, it makes you look stupid. But at the end of the day, like, we're talking sports, guys. It doesn't matter as much as you think. I love it. It's a connector. I get to talk with my guys Mike, Ivan, Aaron, and Brian in the chat every day. But what I've noticed with the Phoenix Suns fan base and the things going on, and this is where I'd be curious, where I would see some interaction in the chat this morning, it's so toxic. Now listen, social media is not real life. And even I oftentimes forget that. I think just because what I see on social media, that's exactly what a large amount of people feel. But yesterday, a guy that I've had on my show, I'm sorry, not my show, a guy that I've had on the show on Fox Sports 910, where I would regularly fill in. His name's Sam Cooper of the Timeline Podcast. Great dude, smart guy. He put out there yesterday, and I should have screenshotted this, Kevin Durant going after yet another media member and said, exhibit 1 million on Suns fans being over this. The fight between Kevin Durant stans and Devin Booker stans has just gotten frustrating. It has come to the point where you can't argue your point on social media or you hate Kevin Durant. I saw a guy on social media. I have no idea who he is. I think he goes by Swavey Keese. I don't know. I can't. I've never heard of the guy until this season. I don't know him. And personally, like, I'll obviously never take no attacks on people personally. That's not how I do things. It's always about sports. But yesterday he put out a tweet that said, basically, anyone that is against, that is ready for the Kevin Durant experience to be over or ready to move on, they never wanted Kevin Durant here in the first place. And for me, it's very interesting because I argued every single day to trade the Twins and whatever picks the Nets wanted. The Suns clearly constructed this team wrong, and that is a huge proponent of the Suns failing. But I would trade the Twins again for Kevin Durant. He's a top 10 basketball player of all time. Kevin Durant is elite at everything. But it's insane. It is insane that that's what you have to deal with. I don't know if he's Kevin Durant's buddy, but I forgot his name again. I believe it's Eddie Gonzalez. I think he's a Banksy on Twitter. I don't know how I remember his Twitter app. I think his name is Eddie. And I don't mean to be rude by that. I'm not trying to act like I just don't know people. He did a whole segment on one of my breakouts on social media, basically saying that I said Kevin Durant quit on the team. No, it's not what happened. I said the Suns turtle shell. And I don't think that that's crazy either, guys. The Phoenix Suns do turtle shell. When they get punched in the face, they have no counter punch to throw back at you. And I thought that that was a universal belief. But no, it's not where it is right now. I'm surprised at the two avenues that have completely split open. Either you hate Kevin Durant or you love Kevin Durant. There's no avenue where I feel like I operate. Top 10 basketball player of all time. I hold nothing against him. I hope the guy wins another championship, but I'm ready to move on. Why can't you have both ways? What the Phoenix Suns are doing doesn't work. It's not working. And as much as I would love to trade Bradley Beal and get off of his contract, it's just not going to happen. It might. Something crazy could happen. But not only does he have to accept a trade somewhere, you have to figure out how to not give up all your assets just to get rid of him, because he has negative value right now. He's injury prone and he makes $50 million large every single season. So I don't understand. There's these two avenues. One, where you hate Kevin Durant, which is just stupid. Two, You want Kevin Durant here and you want to build around him at all costs, but you have no flexibility or resources to do so. Why can't you operate where I operate? It's not working. You have nothing against Kevin Durant, but you recognize it's not working here. It's not Kevin Durant's fault. Obviously, it's not all of his fault that the Suns aren't working. I do think he holds some blame for the Suns not working, and I think it's insane to think he doesn't. I like Kevin. Why can't you just say, I like Kevin Durant? Top 10 basketball player of all time, in my opinion. I think it's just insane not to have him there. I'm not putting Larry Bird over Kevin Durant. And I hope he wins another championship. I've got nothing against him. But you have to recognize it's not working. The Kevin Durant relationship is like a girlfriend that you like. It's like me with, some ex-girlfriends. I have no issues with them. It didn't work out. I hope it continues to work out for them in the future. And at the end of the day, it's just healthy enough for us to split. That's what Kevin Durant is. It's not working. It's not all of his fault. It's partially his fault, but it's not all of his fault. They have no resources to help build around him. Bradley Beal has negative trade value. You can say, I know it's crazy, but you can say, Kevin Durant is a top 10 basketball player of all time. You hope he wins another championship. You have nothing against him, and it's just not working out. That's what happens in some relationships. They just don't work out, and you have to move on, and it sucks, and it takes time to recover for the Suns, and I'm sure for Kevin Durant to some extent. Moving around can't be fun. But this idea that if you critique Kevin Durant at all, then you just always hated him is just so stupid. Like, it's so dumb. And I can't even come up with a different, more sophisticated word to come up with it because it's just that simple. It's just dumb. Some people are just ready to move on because they recognize it's not working, and the Suns have no assets to build around this team. No one goes around, or at least I don't, just hating players. For what reason? I'm a grown-ass man. I got things I got to do. But it is just toxic that not what's just going on in the court or potentially the locker room. I don't know about the locker room. Like, I'm never going to act like I know what's going on in there. But the fan base as a whole is ridiculous. Also, last thing, if you run a Stan account of a player and you're over the age of 14, I can't take you seriously. I just can't. And I cannot believe people follow those accounts because they just don't say anything of substance. Anyways, guys, kind of a janky segment there. But I had to let that vent for a second. Thank you for allowing me to do that. Follow me on all social media platforms at Ben Garcia Show. I have a Suns game tonight, so we should be here in the morning. We should be here, but I might be tired. Damn it, Michael. That's a pretty good point about K1. Anyways, guys, I'm a grown-ass man. I hate Santonio. Dude, you guys are the best, man. You guys are the best. I love every single one of you guys. Follow me on all social media platforms at Ben Garcia Show. I got to get to my 9 to 5. Appreciate you guys making me a part of your day. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, 6 a.m., 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Follow me on all social media platforms at Ben Garcia Show. And until tomorrow, I'm Benjamin Garcia. And what? It's Ben the what? Ben Garcia Show.